Hi. In my previous video, I was asked by someone to give my opinion what tools should be used by a young apprentice, electrical apprentice. Like I've said, I don't earn my living doing electrical stuff. I am an electrical engineer by profession. Out of school, I'm an electrical engineer out of university, and I'm mostly a handyman. I own several properties from to whom I do maintenance, I do repairments, I do electrical stuff, I change wires, I change outlets, I change powers, I change sockets, I change power panels, I change fuses, I mechanical stuff too. I repair the furniture, I change the furniture, I replace the washer, the dryers, the faucets, the whatever, name it. Most likely I'll do it except gas. For gas, except for the most I'll do for gas is change a hose with the gasket. For anything else, I'll call a professional because it's not my profession and I don't like to play with people's life. And if it's dangerous, I don't do it. So I will show you. I will make. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. But there are some tools, so it will be probably longer than half an hour. I will show you. I've set aside the tools that I think are needed. I will show some comparisons. I will show today. I will show mostly premium brands. Mostly premium brands, but I don't recommend for a young apprentice to spend all his money on tools. 90% of the cases, cheaper tools than Knipex, for example, gets the job done, and the young apprentice doesn't have 70 euros or $75 to spend on the pair of pliers when he can easily buy their counterparts for half that. And also, I will show you in what I carry my tools and why I don't recommend for a professional to carry his tools in something like that. In my sorry. So this is in what I carry my tools, and I will tell you why. In my previous video, I've shown you. Sorry, they are a little out of order, and many tools are taken out of place. So I carry those two boxes in my trunk. I know what job I need, what work I need to do. I set aside the tools, either mechanical or electrical or whatever, in or combined in this carry-on without cover, and I'll do the job. For a professional, you will need to buy a professional tool bag, a tool bag, not a good tool bag. Vito, Velocity, whatever. Buy it with cover so your tools can be safe. You won't lose them. You won't whatever. I don't have that because I don't need it. I own in these two toolboxes tons of tools, and I will have to buy, I think, 3 or 4 Velocity Raptors or Vito Pro Packs to get my tools in, and I don't need it. And I won't spend 400-500 euros. That's how much they cost in Romania, by the way, per bag. So $2,000-3,000 just to make a video and show you, hey, this is the Velocity Raptor, this is the Vito Pro Pack, I have 4 or 5 of them, this is how my tools are stored. No, I can't store my tools in something like that. So you will have to buy a professional bag, buy a good bag, a strong bag that you can carry, that it's easy for your back to put on your back, and that is you can fit a lot of tools in it and leave room to grow. Because as you get older in your job and more professional, you will sorry, I have to coming, you will see that more tools will add up, more specialty tools will add up. So for starters, I will show you what I think should go in an apprentice's bag, and not necessarily these brands. So you will need, in my opinion, firstly, screwdrivers. Now you can go with a ton of this that will take up a ton of space. These are the Dexter brand. They are VDE 1000 volts isolated. What I like about them is that they have the slim fit, if you see here. There are cases when if you buy a screwdriver, let's see if I find one, this is a Stanley Fat Max. It isn't slim fit, and this one is thin, and but they are you will find this version with thick isolation here, and it won't fit in different fuses or different holes, or so go slim. Now I wanted to buy the Wera set of this, but I didn't, and I will tell you why. Wera makes something like, if you see here, this is not an isolated one, makes the laser tip. For the VDE version, they are stubborn, and with the thin isolation, they don't do the laser tips. And I want the laser tip if I am to buy Wera. Mostly, on my VDE version, not compact like this one, I want the laser tip. So when Wera will make them, I will buy it. Until then, they are good. So I bought this compact version of Wera craft form with interchangeable blades, tips, or whatever you want to call them, and they do the job quite well. As you can see, I have some torques over here, and I have different type of blades. Of course, I have plus minus pH. If you see it over here, I have PZ3, PZ2, sorry. I have PZ1 and pH. Sorry, it's hard with one hand too. PZS with for slotted, and I bought different blades. This didn't come up with so many blades. When I bought this version of screwdrivers, it only had the basic ones, and I bought separately from Czech Republic, if I remember well, the different blades, and not all of them, I didn't find all of them with the thin isolation. If you will see in a second here, for example, the slotted pH2, for example, is not with thin isolation. I didn't find it with thin isolation, so I bought what I found. It is what it is, but I recommend having the thin isolation. So I prefer taking this with 3 handles, and you will set whatever you want for the job. For example, you will need a PZ0, let's say. You will need a slotted one. Where is it? It's a little harder to find. Yeah, I know. Wera now makes this craft form. The newer model is with the colored handles for the blades, and it's easier to remember which is which. I don't own it, but and you can put another one, let's say a torx over here, and rarely you need to work with more than three drivers at a time. So this is what I recommend for a young apprentice, not especially Wera. Other brands, maybe cheaper brands, make it, but it saves up space, and it is very this handle doesn't go. By the way, this came with only one handle. I bought the 2 different no, sorry, this came with 2 handles. My mistake. I bought the 3rd handle separately because, yeah, you do need to work with 3 screwdrivers from time to time. Okay, so this will go in the tool bag. Now, on the subject of screwdrivers, you will need some impact screwdrivers. In my previous video, I didn't recommend spending a lot of money on impact screwdrivers, and I still hold my thought, especially as a young apprentice. This isn't very expensive, but not very cheap either. I bought it, I think, 2 or 3 weeks back from Horbach. I went inside and I would just, you know how it is. I needed to have it because I like tools. Why not? But if it's brand new, wasn't hit once. These other screwdrivers, I have more impact from Dexter. Got beaten up a lot. Yeah, they aren't the same quality, but they do hold up for heating. Sometimes you need to, as the screw is rusted, and you need to put a screwdriver and hit it a few times in order to make the dents more prominent and be able to screw it out. Some other times you need to hit some concrete, some drywall or whatever. But for that, I will recommend something else. I will show you in a second. If you hear a kitten crying on the background, sorry, it's my little cat. He's crying outside because he's only allowed with a leash because his sister ran away and I couldn't find her because she was my little daughter. So that's why you might hear some meowing, meow meow behind. Anyway, back to the story. So for heating concrete, heating bricks, heating whatever, buy one of these. I bought this for under €2. I think it does a better job than this because you can heat it and you don't care. uh, it's dirt cheap. A chisel, a very dirty chisel, very cheap chisel. It gets the job done and you save your screwdrivers. So in my opinion, of course you can buy this too, but it takes up space and it's a little heavier and it will add up to the weight. I don't recommend especially this one, but it gets the job done. It protects your hand. You can hammer it all day long and it is a good chisel. I carry it usually in my toolboxes, not in my carry-on. So for the carry-on, I would recommend something like the bigger one. This is expensive, so if money is not a problem, get this one. But if you're a young apprentice, go with cheaper versions. Dexter does the job quite well, so I will put this aside. I recommend these three. So these three screwdrivers and chisel will go in the toolbox and we'll show it later. Of course, you will need other screwdrivers too, but you can carry an entire workload of screwdrivers. So I recommend a multi-bit screwdriver, not especially from Wera. This is around, oh, I don't know exactly how much I paid for it. I think it was around €35, something like that. But yeah, it's a very good screwdriver. It has a bit carousel. You can customize this as you want. Of course, you can put one bit here and you will have 6-7 bits. I don't like carrying this because it punches my tool bag or my hand if I put it up and I leave it without a bit. You can customize it as you want and you will have essentially 6 screwdrivers, 7 screwdrivers in one. Of course, you can carry some other bits, and you will have as many screwdrivers as you want. One thing that I don't like about this type of screwdrivers is that sometimes you have to go into some places, and due to this head, this magnetic head, it doesn't fit, the bit doesn't fit, and you will have to go and take another screwdriver, but it rarely happens. This is one of the reasons why I don't like the chubby head like this one. This is from Parkside. Yeah, I know it's not Wera, it's not Wiha, it's not a professional one, but it's brilliant. Look how it turns around. It you can put it even in your power driver, um, electric driver, and you can put different screws in walls and stuff, and you can hold it with a hand, and it's quite okay. I bought this dirt cheap from Parsite or Kaufland, I don't remember. If you find it by mistake or something like this, it was, I don't know, €3, something like that, dirt cheap. I recommend using it with of course you can take out, as you've seen, you can take out the blade and you can put this one and you can use it such. as such. Now, if money isn't an issue, then you can get the ratcheting screwdriver. Wera does make a version with a bit carousel and with a magnetic bit holder, but I wanted this one because I also wanted a good big bit holder. I can take this and put into this, or I have other bit holders like this that I can put in these jaws, or whatever you want to call them, and it ratchets. It's a very good screwdriver, but it's about 2 times the price of this one. So for an apprentice, don't waste your money from the start. Only if money is not an issue. In my opinion, this should be a tool for the future, and these two should go in the toolbox. You will see them in the toolbox at the end. The same thing with the stubby. You will need from time to time to go into very small places, and your hand should get your hand will be in you won't be able to fit a screwdriver as such, only from the side, and you will barely get your hand in, and you will have to adjust. So this small screwdriver, not necessarily from Wera, like I've said, you can get it from any brand. Milwaukee does them. I think in America it's they are cheaper, the Milwaukee than the Wera. They do have a very good bit carousel with 6 bits, and of course you can put one in the head or in the tip over here, so you can be 7 in 1, 8 if you count the socket, the small socket. You can customize the bits however you want. If money is not an issue, then you can get a ratcheting one. The same with a bit carousel, customizable however you want. But the problem is with this is that it's more expensive, and it's a little bigger, you will see in a second, than the non-ratcheting stubby. As you can see, sometimes those 1 centimeter matters. So, in my opinion, as an apprentice, save your money, go with the non-ratcheting one. Now, another tool that you will need are wire strippers. Now, here there are a lot of, I don't have all my wire strippers with me. I have only the Knipex, the other ones are in another toolbox at another location. I will do a video in the future comparing the brands and stuff like that, but for now I will show what I have. I don't recommend especially the brand Knipex. Knipex doesn't sponsor me anything, so I have no, but they are good, they are very good pliers. Now I own 3 types of wire strippers from Knipex. Of course you can strip wires with these two, with forged wires. I will show this a bit later, but these are mainly wire strippers, and I would recommend for a beginner, forget about this one. Yeah, it's a good wire stripper. It strips stranded cable very good. It strips automatically. You don't have to adjust only a little bit for here if it's the isolation is very thin or very thick, or very few adjustments have to be made for this to work. You can adjust here the length of the isolation you want to take out, but it's very expensive. It's around 170 euros, 150, 60 euros in my country, sorry. In dollars that will be around $170, $180, and in America I think due to transport they are more expensive. So forget about these ones as an apprentice, too expensive. Go for this type if you want for the Knipex, or and I will tell you in a second why this type. So this is the Knipex, is not that expensive compared to that one. They are only around 45 to 50 euros depending on how you catch them, so that's around $55 tops. But there are other brands, they are automatically strippers, and they do a very good job. This over here, like I've said, they are mostly, I like how they do the stripping for stranded wires. For solid wires, I don't recommend this as much as these ones. What I like about these ones is that you have for ferules and for cutting, but these also have for cutting, and in my opinion these are a little overrated. So back to these ones, I've seen this made from Topex to Dexter to, I think, a lot of brands, this version. Not, I haven't checked other brands, but you will do need a pair of strippers, and these are good. Now, why I say that I recommend this sort of pliers. Last year I worked at my parents' house in an old power outlet, and it had very short aluminium wires from, I think, 40 years ago. I don't know exactly how long they were there, and they were very short, and I had only this and this with me, and neither of them fitted the hole, and I don't know exactly what can I. So let's say that this glass is the power outlet, but it was thinner than this. So this fatties didn't get into disassociate the wire in order for me to be able to add some length to it. These were short also, and I didn't see from my hand, and I didn't have this with me. I own a different brand cheaper than this one, but I didn't had it with me. So when the next sorry, I think the little doggy wants to come in. No, he didn't. I ordered this online, and I didn't use them very much, but when I need them in order to get into some places. You can adjust here, as you can see, you can adjust the width of the hole for the cable that you want to take the insulation out. And what I like about the Knipex brand is that they have these cutters, and you don't have to get down from the ladder to take, or to go to your pouch to take with your hand to your pouch to cut the wire. You just sometimes even in the outlet you snip and you do the job. So wire strippers, I recommend this and this. These are for later tools. If money is an issue, then not especially Knipex, but these two. They will go in the apprentice bag. Now, as I've shown, you will do need pliers, and a lot of them. Long nose, forge pliers, linemans, combination pliers, diagonals, whatever you will do. Sorry, you will do need pliers, and I've shown this before. Yeah, they can be used as strippers, but they are expensive, and they are good. They do the job. They cut screws here and here, and you don't have to insert the screw. You will just insert them and cut them, and they do a great job. But they are expensive. They are around, I think, over 100 euros in my country, so around 100 euros. So in America, USA, Canada, I think around 110 US dollars, and a lot more, not a lot, 130, 40 Canadian dollars. If my conversion in my head is okay, but I don't know the exact converting rates. So these are good pliers, but expensive for an apprentice. What I would recommend instead is these pliers. So they do the job, most of the job that these do, but they don't cut screws. They don't have as many selections for stripping, but you do have those other tools, because if you do a lot of stripping, you, in my opinion, get an automatic stripper, because you will see that you can strip with anything, with scissors, with this, with these blades over here. I can strip with this and not damage the wire, but hey, I have some experience as an apprentice. Get some automatic pliers and you won't damage the wires, and it will be, in my opinion, better. Anyway, so this work in 90% of the time as a needle nose too. Not 100%. There was one or two situations when I had to take my needle nose, because these fatties, they are not fat, but they are not as thin as needle noses, didn't fit. So these are 40 euros. These are more than double. Get this. Not necessarily the Knipex, but my opinion, you will do need it. Like I've said, some long nose pliers. Yeah, these are the Knipex. I do own from several brands. The comparison clip will be in the future. I own another brand that is, these are around 20 to 25 euros, depending on how you catch them, around 27 to $30, maybe less. I do own a Dexter brand that is very similar and the same size, and that is less than half the price, and it does the job. They, from what I saw from the Dexter, you don't cut with this. You can cut the cables, thick isolated cables. They snip not as good as diagonal pliers or as Linemen's, but they do the job okay. The other brands, these cutters, these blades over here, don't do the job as well. But like I've said, I do recommend this, not from Knipex long nose, because you'll have to get into tight places and do electric stuff that will require more precision to and not to short circuit things and stuff like that. So this will go with the other pliers in the apprentice box, especially if you catch them at a good price from different brands. Get a pair of needle nose and other short ones that are, in my opinion, useless. Another type of pliers that an electrician needs are diagonal cutters. Now, these are the 160 millimeters version from Knipex. Of course, get them from whatever brand you want. I just say what needs to be in a apprentice's toolkit, toolbox, not the brand. So this brand, in my opinion, the diagonal cutters are a little bit overrated, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, I know they're Knipex, especially in other brands, to make the bigger version, the 20 centimeter, 22 centimeter version, I don't remember exactly, that can cut, people say on YouTube that they can cut anything. Really? I doubt that they can cut better than the Linemen pliers, especially the Knipex Linemen pliers. And I've damaged the a pair of Knipex Linemen pliers while cutting deck screws. I didn't have other tools with me. I needed to get the job done, and I damaged a little bit the jaws of one of my Knipex Linemens. And I doubt that a pair angle cutters will do a better job, because I doubt that their jaw is tougher than the jaw of the lineman. In my opinion, yeah, buy a pair of these, not the expensive one. Buy a pair that can cut to cable, to not very hard metal, but don't abuse them, especially if they are the Knipex or other brands that are expensive. In my opinion, get one of these. I've seen this made from other brands too. I think in Romania I've seen it from Unior, Unior, it's written. I don't know exactly if I pronounce it well in English. I think that other brands make it too in US also. I think that I've seen this made from Milwaukee, some miniature bolt cutters. I do own two pair of these, the bigger size and the smaller size. They are a little different. If you can see, the bigger size jaws don't go all the way to the end, and there's a little hole, and that way you can insert bigger metals inside it, bigger screws, bigger whatever it can get in its jaws, it will cut without damage. This one was abused a lot. Not abused, I've cut nails and stuff like it. Its jaws are as good as new because nails and screws are nothing to it, and it does the job very well. I usually put this in my bag and I cut stuff because it protects my linements, because those are other pliers that I will show you that I recommend, but they are quite expensive, especially from Knipex. So this and this, well, this no, because they are big and I bought them because, like I said, I need tools. These two, not especially these brands, should go inside an apprentice's bag. Now, I've said about the linements. These are the Knipex 0912 to 40, 240 millimeters. They are a monster. Now, if you're an electrician and you are not in Romania, because here in Romania you can find them only at scalpers. These are not cheap, but not very not expensive, but not very cheap either. The non-isolated version is around in Romania around 45 to 50 plus, more exactly, euros, 50 plus, around 300, around, so more 55, 60 euros more exactly. Sorry, I don't know all the prices from my head. I just from memory what I paid for them when I bought them. So they are not extremely expensive, but they are not cheap compared to other brands like the Stanley Fatmax here. This one was around 20-25 euros, so under half this. But this is its quality, it's a lot better. If you squeeze it, you can feel that this one is a little more hardened, a little more powerful. It feels heavier on the hand. And better built. Also, it has the non-VDE version, the non-isolated version. It has some crimpers over here that can crimp quite well. I've used them a few times. It has a fish tape puller over here. You can catch fish tape that I will show you later and drag it if you can do it by hand. And like I've said, I've damaged a pair of not very big damage, but still, if you can see, I don't know if the camera can focus, that little hole over there. I've got one or two duct screws, I think one, because I've stopped and I drove and took the necessary tool, and I don't like damaging my tools. Anyway, I needed one pair of linements for either toolbox because not in 100% of the cases I have both boxes with me. It did happen for me to take one, and I do recommend having a pair of linements because many people on the internet will say you do this with exactly like this. No, you don't. These don't have the same grip as the linements. Yeah, they do other stuff better. They cut cable better over there. They strip. You can strip with this. I didn't remember stripping any. I doubt that you can strip with this. I didn't try it. This is one tool that I didn't try trip with this and maybe with the cobalts, the parts that are from before. So this doesn't grip as good as this. I had to pull a spring the other days, and I tried with this one because it was near me, and I went back inside the house and got a pair of Linemans and did the job. And also you will have to pull some wires, and yeah, these do the job, but man, buy a pair of Linemans, not especially from Knipex, buy them from whatever brand, but buy it, and don't trust that you can do this the same stuff 100% with this one. So this will go in the apprentice toolbox. Not these ones, but you can do the job as good. But if I started with Knipex, now I'll put Knipex in it, but whatever brand. Another thing that you will need, I don't know, depending on the codes of from your country or your state or from wherever you are, you will need some crimping pliers, and I do own several of these, but I will show my main ones today. I recently bought, I haven't used them a lot. I bought two of them from AliExpress. They are on Knipex. They are literally made in China, no name brand. As you can see, they have absolutely no mark on them except my name, because I like writing my name on tools, and I'll tell you in another video why. Different story. And I wanted to buy the Knipex crimping pliers. They make several crimping pliers, but I didn't like the Knipex crimping pliers, neither one of them, because one, they were expensive for what they offered, and two, they didn't innovate. Now Knipex makes one type of crimping pliers that looks a lot like these ones, and they have a little magazine, the little storage for blades. Now the blades are these jaws over here, more exactly not blades, sorry, jaws, are interchangeable. And what Knipex did, they took a round magazine and they had them stored inside that magazine, and you had to unsecure a lock from here on the pliers and to push some button and to insert and to draw, and it was you needed a degree just to change the blades, and I didn't like that. And I said, hey Knipex, if you can't innovate, I won't buy your stuff, sorry. The Chinese did a lot better job, and I'll show you why. Now I bought two of these, and you will, in my opinion, need one, but I bought them for these blades, and I will show you in a few minutes what I mean. They are different type of blades, as you can see. I own all of these blades, I own them, and not all of them, even though mostly they are interchangeable and they do 95% of the same stuff, but I want them to do 100%. So I will show you in a few minutes why these aren't exactly the same. So these blades, what I liked about them, they change very quickly. The Chinese simply, at the push of a button, you insert their counterparts, and job done. Why do I have from Knipex to pull? Maybe I put this in reverse. It doesn't matter. They fit either way. They work either way. So it's not a big deal. Anyway, why do I have to put them inside the magazine? Seriously, Knipex. And take this screw, pull this lever, push this button. Forget it. Now, these ones are a little bit different, and these blades these blades don't work in these pliers, because the fast connect it doesn't enter, because as you can see they have a little hole in them and they won't work. And these aren't fast connect, these are the normal, but still they are quite fast. You have to take that screw out. Now do this do work into this and this. These blades without, this type of blades without the hole, but these don't work in the fast grip ones, only in this one. So you'll take the screw out with a little Allen key that they provided, and that I had anyway, and you put these jaws in and they do the job very very well. Now you can do ferrules, you can do all sort of pins, you can do ferrules, you can do all sort of pins like I've told you. You can do uh, depending on, you just have to put the correct type of jaws and they will do the job. Now I do own, for ferrules usually I use this from Knipex. They are a lot faster, they crimp better than, they are dedicated for ferrules. You can't put anything else but ferrules with this. For those of you who don't know what ferrules are, or what I mean, or call them someone else, ferrules are this, and you insert them inside the crimping plier, of course with the cable inside. And sorry, I don't want to turn over the camera. And of course you put them out and they crimp very very well. Of course you have to have cable in them, but that's another story. So I do have another type of pliers. They are from Jeko. If you do a lot of ferrules, buy a set of pliers of like this, not especially from Knipex. What I do like about these Knipex ones is that they are fully automatic. You don't have to adjust for the thickness. Only if you go from 1 centimeter to 2 centimeter, then you will have to adjust to our 1 centimeters. You will have to adjust then by turning this button over here. If not, they will put ferrules very very well without any adjustment. I have another Jeko brand, I think, and from different sizes you have to turn a screw and set a little lever, and yeah, these are expensive, are around $160 euros, $170. But if you work professionally, you could go with the Knipex, but for now, for an apprentice, I don't recommend. I recommend buying something like this from AliExpress with, I don't know, they were dirt cheap, around 20 euros, no, 45 euros both, and they came with a lot of ferrules and pins, both of them, they came. And I would recommend buying at least the quick grip one, this one, sorry, yeah, and buy the dedicated jaws for it, and they have the ferrules jaws and they will do the job. So this with a pack of ferrules, not especially these ones, of course more diverse, but just for an idea, these two will go in the apprentice bag. This one and this one are for later tools, when you will be more experienced and have money to spend. What also you will need is sometimes you work with zip ties and you fix cables with zip ties, and you know, if you cut with the diagonal cutters, most of the time they leave a little edge, and after when you work or someone will scratch their hands. These snip pliers, flash cutters, electronic pliers, call them whatever you want. They cut very close to the edge and they do a very very good job and at cutting plastic and thin wire. They are very cheap. I think that new they are around 10-15 euros, under 20 euros. So I do recommend buying them either from Knipex or from whomever you want, but get a pair of these. Now, a tool that you will rarely see, and I've only seen it from Knipex. It isn't expensive, but it can save you a lot of headaches and a lot of troubles, are these. Now, these are plastic pliers, glass fiber pliers. I don't know exactly what materials they are made. They are made from, I've seen them only from Knipex. They aren't expensive, around 20 euros each, so around 20 to $23, and they do save you in a lot of times. They save you because sometimes you can't disconnect the current and you have to work into live panels where you know that there is electricity. And once in a fuse I had to pull out the wires from the fuse, and I couldn't stop the current at one end of the fuse, and I had to make sure that I don't short circuit the two wires, the phase and I don't know how to call it in English. I think you call it ground or null, whatever you call it. I don't make a short circuit in those, and with this I simply introduce them, and these aren't conductive. You can touch whatever you want, they won't short circuit, and you can very easily work in electrical panels that are under power. But be careful not to work like this, and to always keep your hand up after these protections over here. Now these ones I think I only used for, I didn't use them for electric work, I didn't need to. They are good for electricity, of course, but I use them for my car's air, where you put air inside the tire. How do you call it? Ventil, air socket, and it was damaged. I couldn't get the cap out, and I had to hold the rubber and with a metal plier to take down the cap, because it was metal and it rusted. I don't know what happened. It got colmated and it rusted there, and I had to take it off, and with this I could very easily hold the rubber. Anyway, this not so much. They are good for many things, but I didn't use them for electricity yet. But this I do recommend because they are quite cheap for what they do, and yeah, I will put this in an apprentice's toolkit. Now, another tool that is recommended for electricians, you will rarely use them, unlike the other ones that I've shown until now, but most of the other ones, but you do need it, are some wrenches, and I think you Americans especially call them channel locks pliers or water pump pliers. Here in Europe we simply call them pliers. I will show them in the same group because I do recommend a few with a few. Yes, now these all look almost alike, different sizes, but they aren't exactly alike. Now, you Americans, I think, call these channel locks, this and this, and this, or water pumps. Now, for electric work, when sometimes you have to hold the cables with one hand, I prefer the Cobras more because I can do it in front of a camera, but you can adjust this with one hand better, and you don't have to work with pipes as much, just with conduit for cables and Copex or whatever you call it. These are VDE, of course. You find this in VDE also, but that's not the point. For one hand usage, the alligators, not necessarily from Knipex, are a better choice. You can grab stuff, you can pull stuff, you can grab nuts, you can but they do round up the nuts, of course, and this is where this come in. But between this and this, for electric work, I would recommend these two. Now the Cobras are great, you do a lot with them, but they are mainly for mechanical stuff and for plumbers, because this button you have to use two hands in order to adjust, also with the smaller ones. But with these don't come without the buttons, that's why. But these are an adjustable wrench. These are basically the same as this and this. Now basically the Knipex, I think that many copied them. You find them under other brands too. Now with the Knipex you set the size of the nut and very easily you have to hold it and it adjusts for the size. You adjust for the size, and they are basically the same principle as these adjustable wrenches. Yeah, for these ones I went with the Milwaukee because I owed other brands and they wiggle a lot, their jaw wiggle a lot, even for Milwaukee, as you can see. And this from, I think I had 4 or 5 brands, but these ones are the ones that wiggle less out of them, and they still wiggle. Of course the bigger ones wiggle too, of course. Now with these ones from Knipex, you do get a little bit of wiggle, but it's a different type of wiggle. They don't wiggle, they don't round up the nuts, because as you can see, this wiggle and become unparallel. Now this wiggle and stay parallel, and if you set them just the size of the nut and squeeze a little bit, they get the nut very well, and you can do your job. Also you can grab things, bend things, bend thin sheets of metal if you need it, etc. So this and this will go in an electrical apprentice toolkit, not necessarily from these brands, of course. And if you get a good price, maybe in America Milwaukee is cheaper than in Europe because you don't have transport, it's a local brand, get these wrenches too, because they are very good for what they do. So I'll put this. This one is heavy and big, so these three will go in the kit, in my opinion, because maybe from time to time you have to hold in two places and not damage the screw. I don't know, but if you find this at a good price, get it. And also its bigger sister. Now, as an apprentice, you will also need scissors. You will do have to cut material, you will do have to cut maybe some wires. You do need some scissors in your kit. Now, I own the Knipex brand. Knipex makes many, a few more types of these scissors. They do make them with springs, they do make them with different. Here you can put your index and whatever. I like this the most because you can use them either way around, it doesn't matter. I don't want to look how I insert my fingers. I take the scissors and I cut. I don't uh, stay to analyze very much. Anyway, this cut very well. I think I owned them for 2 years, around, maybe more. My tools get cleaned a lot. I wipe them with WD-40 and with silicone spray. I grease them. The other days, like I've told you, I'm a handyman. I've worked with concrete. I got many of my tools very dirty, including a hammer that I will show. It was covered in cement, in concrete. I washed it. I made it okay. My shovels, my everything got clean. I don't like dirty tools. After I work them, I clean them, and I put them back. That's why they look good. They aren't heavily used. Of course, for what I do, the other brands that I will show a comparison in the future did the job very good and would have lasted me maybe a lifetime. Now I'm just showing you what I think should be in an electrical toolkit, electrical apprentice toolkit. So this is the model number. They weren't very cheap for scissors. They do come with this little holder, but I don't use it because I keep them in my toolbox and they stay bulky on the blanket. They have some small crimpers over here. If you see, you can crimp. I only used it for, I don't know, for testing. It works wellish, not good wellish, because they are very small. But you can strip cable with it. I can strip with this almost as good as any of the strippers, even automatic, that I've shown you, because hey, I have some experience. I don't damage the cable, but I don't recommend this for an apprentice to use it for strippers, but you can do it. After you will gain some experience, you will be able to strip with almost anything, almost, not anything. You can strip with the Linemans, for example. I don't think you can, and you won't be able to strip with this. Now, these go into the tool bag. Oh, sorry. And I also own this, the Milwaukee longer size. These are mostly for materials and for cables. They cut very, very well, but they are big, they are bulky, they are quite expensive, at least here in Eastern Europe, around 25 euros, $27, $26, something like that. And they cut well, but I won't put them in an apprentice toolkit. This is a tool for maybe later. Now, of course, you will need a hammer. Many people say that you can use anything as a hammer. Yeah, of course you can, including the forehead. You can take a nail, put it, and smash it with your head. Of course, it becomes a hammer. And after that, we will meet each other at the ER section. Now, hammers. This is the Wiha expensive electrician hammer. For electricians. It is a good hammer. I like it, I use it, but I don't recommend it for apprentices. Yeah, you will see many people on the internet praising it and saying that it's the best hammer and that Thor himself used it in the latest movies and stuff like that, whatever. Yeah, it's a good hammer, but it's a $55-$60 hammer, and you can smash things with this as well. Now, what I like and don't like about these two. Now, what I like mostly about this hammer is that it's not very heavy. It does the job. It has a good leverage because it's long enough for me to hit whatever I need to hit and have a good look. It's around 25-30 centimeters. Around 30 centimeters, I think. Let me just measure it because I've never measured. I'm curious. 28 centimeters. So in inches, that would be around 12-13 inches, right? I like that it has a 90-degree head and you can smash things near the ceiling, near corners. You can very easily hit. I like the claws and I don't like the claws, and I'll tell you why. I like that you can put some things and use it as a leverage, but not apply too much force on it. You can smash with only not very hard. You can smash with these claws. There are a lot of videos on YouTube where the claws break because Wiha itself says that this hammer is not made for smashing or for pulling wood blankets from. You can use it as a strong leverage. So you have to be careful with it. I don't like it that it gives the impression that it's isolated rubberized handle. If you see rubber, but it's not VDE. And someone could mistake it for a VDE hammer or VDE isolated tool, and problems could occur. Wiha doesn't say anywhere that it's isolated, but it made it so that you can confuse it, and if you give it to an unprofessional, he could make the mistake. And this is why one of the reasons why I don't recommend it, because an apprentice could make this mistake. Yeah, for a more advanced electrician, a person that knows its job well, that doesn't have to learn as much as a young kid or a young apprentice, he won't make that mistake. What I also like about it is that it has this plastic handle that you can also use to beat up things, soft things, and use it as a, I don't know, as a reverse hammer, if you get what I mean. I like this about it, but it's expensive. I take it with me between these two. When I do electric work, I take this with me. But like I said, I'm a little tool crazy, and I'm trying to give cost effective advices too. So let this aside and let's take this giant one over here. This is a smashing tool. I've used it as everything and anything. I've literally smashed concrete bricks, concrete blocks with it. I've smashed with its fork over here. I've literally smashed concrete. I think that, I don't know if I can get, you can still see, I think, yeah. It has concrete marks on it. I've smashed, I've poured concrete, unfortunately, on its head. I've washed it. I've just the other days it was used a lot, and it did a job every time. I've literally took apart a small shed with it. I've used it as a leverage. I baited it. I did whatever with it. I wanted to buy a Milwaukee hammer with carbon fiber or fiberglass, I don't know exactly, handle. And I said to myself, hey, why do I need another expensive hammer? I own more hammers. These aren't just my main tools. I own carpenter's hammers, I own the dead blow hammers, I own etc. But I'll try to keep, this isn't on my entire tool collection presentation, it's what I think can be used instead of what. So, for an apprentice, yeah, it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy. It's I think 450 grams. This is what in pounds or ounces. Americans, please do the. I can't do the translations for weight too, only for length, unfortunately. I'm not a converter, so this is around half a kilo, a little less than half a kilo. A pound, or what do you call that? I think a pound, yeah, a pound hammer, and it gets the job. It's solid. It resists anything. I would have liked for it to be square over here, so I can hit in angles at 90-degree angles. But I do like that it has place for nails. You can. It's magnetic. You put a nail there, and you put a nail there and you hammer it down, and it works very well. I did that. So this is what I recommend. Even though it's heavy, it takes up space, but it's cheap. If you break it, this was 10 euros, 12 euros, something like that. This was 5, 6 times more expensive, I told you. No, this is what I recommend for an apprentice, something that you can smash with and not care. Like exactly like the impact screwdrivers, cheap and effective. You smash with it, you don't put it in, I don't know, something that on a pedestal. Another thing that an apprentice or an electrician needs, of course, are levels. Now, sorry, I spoiled the surprise. By mistake I've pushed the button. Yeah, it leads up. Big deal. It has a light. Now, these are my small levels. I do own some smaller ones. We all know how the small levels look. They aren't at my location currently. They were very cheap, around 4 or 5 euros each. You do know how levels, the short ones, only so look anyway, but this is why I said that you would need this type of levels. Now, this is a simple level from Dexter. I bought it from Leroy Merlin for 5 or 6 euros, under 10 euros anyway. It is magnetic. It gets the job done. It is a good level. It shows perpendicularly, horizontally 45 degrees, but what I don't like about it is that its magnet, it is a good level, but its magnet isn't very strong, and it did happen for it. If I touch it just a little bit, it did fell off. So it is good, but Dexter can do better. It's a good level, but not exactly for... The magnet could have been stronger. This other one from Parkside, it's a level that, yeah, it has light. You've seen I've pushed it by mistake. It has a light, so you can use it in darker places, and what I like about it is that it has a laser, and you can level things a little bit. You can use it as a small level laser. Yeah, it's okay-ish, but I don't carry it with me, only rarely. Rarely. I use it with, I take it with me, because I don't use that laser very often. When I need a laser leveler, I just take my laser leveler. So what I do recommend out of these three is this Stanley Fatmax, and I'll tell you why. I think that Milwaukee does something like this too. I like this because it has the option to adjust this bubble over here. So you can, sometimes you install conduit, you install plastic holders, I don't know how to call them in English, those things with a cap that are long, and you put the cables in it and you set on the wall, and you want them to look as nice as possible, and they have to be at a certain angle or a certain or straight or whatever. You can adjust here the degrees, and it's very, this in my opinion is worth the money, even though it's this was around 25, 30, no, over 30, 30, 34, 35 euros from Hornbach, if I remember correctly. And it's more expensive than those two combined times 2. But I do recommend this. Milwaukee, I think, does something like this, and other brands too, but they were more expensive, and I don't know why I should spend $50 on a level when I can spend $30 on a level. It is magnetic, of course. The magnets are a little stronger than on the Dexter, and it will go in an apprentice's toolkit. And yeah, get the small levels too, because in some tight places you will be able only with not in every place a big it's small, but a big level like this will get into. So this will go into the toolbox. Another thing that you will need are tape measurers, measuring tapes. Now these are the Milwaukees, the auto block and the magnetic 10 meters, 8 meters. This one is around, I think, 25 feet for you Americans, and this is around 30 feet. I could be wrong. I don't know Imperial, as you don't know. I don't know Imperial, as you don't know metric. Yeah. Now you could go with this. I have many levels, many measuring tapes, but I didn't search all of them. They are, I think I have 3 in my backyard, 1 in front, at every property, 1, different brands, etc. Why I like the Milwaukee compared to this one is because this is thin. You can't you can't very well, um, if you want to measure something, it doesn't hold up only for around 2 meters. It got damaged very easily. As you can see, it bends and now it won't grab very well here, but that's not a big deal. You have to just be a little bit careful. But this was 4 euros, 5 euros, something like that from Lidl. These are in Romania. I know that in USA are a lot cheaper because you don't have the costs of transportation. And this was around 30 euros. This was around 25-ish euros, something like that. Plus in dollars, add 2 or 3 units. Now, what I like about this one comparing to this one, and I mostly use this, I rarely need 10 meters. This one is a lot bulkier. It it's heavier, it's bulkier, it takes up a lot of space, and I don't like that this doesn't have an auto block. You can hold it with your finger underneath, but I don't like that because you have to be careful not to lose it, and it will pull back and you have to measure again and so on. What I like about this one is that it is written, it's scale on both sides, so sometimes you have to pull it over your head, and yeah, it's an advantage that it has that. This one has an auto block. 8 meters is more than enough. Rarely you have to measure more. And what I like about it is that it has an auto block. You don't have to hold it, and in order for you to pull back the tape, you push the button and it comes back. I've bought this one a few months back, 1 or 2 months back. I've been using it since. I like it more than this one. One is in my black toolbox, my mechanical one, and this is my electrical one. Now, what I would recommend if you find it cheap, only dirt cheap for electrical apprentices. Many people say that you have to have a thick tape in order to for it to be able to hold X meters, 3, 4, 5 X meters, if you measure something at the distance. Yeah, I know. That's why I like this better than this, because this doesn't hold only up to 2 meters or maybe less. I don't know. But what I don't recommend is, especially when you are an electrician and you measure in high places, you are up on a ladder and you're working at an outlet in a corner, and you have to measure the distance from the outlet to the light bulb, the light lamp on the ceiling. Let's say you have 4 meters, 5 meters, and you have to use fish tape to pull the cable through it, or to drag the cable with the old cable to tape it with duct tape and pull it to replace the cable because it got damaged, or because it's old, or because whatever reason. And you have to, let's say, install the cable, or and you have to measure, and many say you will start and you will see that it will hold for 5 meters. Seriously? And when you are on a ladder, with one hand you will hold yourself on the ladder, and with one hand you will put the measuring tape out, and with one hand you will scratch your head, and with one hand you will scratch your ass, and you've become Goro for Mortal Kombat, right? You can't do that on a ladder. And this isn't the Black Swan concert. This isn't a ballet. You can't do ballet on ladders. You risk falling and breaking your neck. And that's why I recommend, if you find dirt cheap, something like this from Parkside. I've bought it from Lidl. It was 20. Sorry. Yeah, unfortunately I moved my camera. I'm not a professional YouTube video maker. This is a very cheap laser distance meter. It measures very, very good the distance, as you can see. it has a discrepancy between this and this, because I've compared them at 2 meters for an difference of 2 millimeters, and it could be those 2 millimeters. It could have been due to measuring error, because I moved either this one or this one, and 2 millimeters isn't much. And when you are on a ladder, you can very easily put the light and measure the exact distance, and with one hand, and you will know the distance, and you don't have to. So I recommend, then I know that Bosch does them, but with for 200 euros. DeWalt does them, but for the same. Milwaukee, I think that there are 100 brands that make them, make this level, but get it cheap. Yeah, it does area, it does volume, it does different stuff, but you only need it mostly for measuring in hard places, and it gets the job done. So in my opinion, these two go in an apprentice's kit. Buy this as cheap as possible. Another thing that you will need in your toolkit is, of course, the utility knives. Of course, I recommend having one of them, but you can do no wrong with two, especially that they are not expensive. You find cheaper brands like this. I've installed this blade because I prefer having this type of blade and this type of blade, because this rips up boxes, rips up even cable. It is very easily to strip. So I prefer, instead of this type of blade, to have this type of blade. Of course, it's very easy replaceable. You can put the other blade in, it's the same. I think that you know how a utility knife. I can do it in front of you, looking through the camera, sorry. So, an utility knife. This is from Milwaukee. I had to let the little kitty in, so you might hear some meow meows around me. The little kitty only can go outside only on a leash because his sister got lost the other months, and we've been crying after it since then. So you might hear no, don't mark your territory, please. You might hear some meow meows in the background. Sorry about that. So back to the video. Now these utility knives, no, sorry, this was the Milwaukee. It's 7-in-1. Yeah, it has a screwdriver with a bit that is slotted and a pH 2. It has a bottle opener. It's 7-in-1, but you can go no wrong with. Sorry, I had to let the kitty back out and put its leash back on its harness, his harness, because it's a boy. So you find cheaper versions, but I liked how this looked. I bought it and it is quite okay. Now, what I like most about the other two, mainly this one, what I like about this one is that it's dirt cheap. This one is under 2 euros or 2 euros in Leroy Merlin. It does almost all the same stuff as this one. This is the Knipex. It has a magnesium shell. It's heavier, it's more solid, it's more heavy duty. It's Knipex blades, even though they look the same except that they are black, but at the finger they do feel that they cut a lot better than this one. And what I like about this one, I think that you've seen from other videos, it is that it has this spine, and you can use it as a normal knife. Without this spine, this blade bends a lot. With this spine, it becomes like knife, sort of like a knife. So In my opinion, if you can afford it, go with, I've only seen this done by Knipex with a spine. In my opinion, I would recommend this brand, this utility knife, this cutter, how we call it in Romania. But you can do no wrong with these two, and if you can afford these two, then one and one. Not especially from Milwaukee, but I do recommend this from Knipex because I haven't seen it done by anyone else. Until, if you know someone that makes this cutter with a spine, please tell me in the comments. Now, what you will also need is when you work with electricity, you will find lots of panels, lots of boxes, lots of mechanical equipment that is locked, and you will need some keys to open them. Now, this has most of the, this is the Knipex, but from what I've seen, Parkside has started making a replica, something exactly like this. If you find it, I recommend it. Doesn't, this is around 30, 25, 30 euros. I recommend it from Parkside if you find it, because I'm sure it, I haven't seen it in Romania yet, I've seen it on YouTube. I'm sure that from Parkside it's around 5 or under 10 euros. What's cool about this one is that it comes apart. You can take this wire apart, you can unscrew it, and you can use, if it's not handy enough, you can take them apart, but you risk losing it. You also have a flathead and a pH2 bit over here that you can, I never use it, but it's there. You can insert in one of these compartment keys and use it. And yeah, I haven't found yet a door that an electrical panel that this didn't have the key for, and I do recommend it from either brand. So a key, an opener for different boxes and electrical boxes and panels you will need, get one. I wanted the other days to order the Pika pencil that is very famous, usually used by carpenters, but also by electricians and handymans. And I'm not saying that it's not good. What I'm saying is that it's quite expensive for a pencil. In my country, the pencil alone, with one reserve, one mine, or how do you call it in English, is around 20 euros. I know that Pika is Pika, and they make good pencils, but I don't see why I should spend $20 on pencils. They were in my tool, in my cart, in my basket on the website. But then I thought to myself, hey, let's see what the Chinese do. What do they sell for on AliExpress? I'm sure that they have replicas. And I've searched AliExpress, and I found this. I'll show it in a second. I've bought 4 of these. 2 red, I don't know, one is I think somewhere in the house. Anyway, 2 like this, 1 like this, 1 like this. They do they are on different colors. I just wasn't I didn't search well enough, but anyway. And they write as well as Pika. They cost every one of these alone 3 euros. And why should I spend 20 euros on a pencil when I can spend 30 euros on a pencil and 20 euros on 4 pencils? One is not here. And I think I bought 8 or 9 reserve cases. And it has red, it has yellow, and it has black. And I've put it, this one, sorry, this one has a red lead in it, yellow red in it, sorry. This one I think has a red lead in it, and I'm sorry that I didn't buy the yellow color pencil because that would have been with yellow in it, and I think I've seen some blue mines, but I could be wrong. So anyway, you will do need something to write with. So pencils, a sharpie, a marker, whatever. In my opinion, get a thin marker. It's somewhere around here, I don't know. Let me just search for it. This is blue, but they do come in all colors. This is blue, but it's a thin sharpie and you can mark things when needed. So one of these, let's say the red one, goes in the toolkit, but I do recommend getting them from AliExpress and not spend your money on brand. Another thing is that I recommend before moving to the electrical stuff that I will try to go a lot faster is one magnetic tray like this, one magnetic plate. You will work with lots of screws, you will lose them. Try to put them when you work in something magnetic, they will hold them a lot better and you will reduce the risk of losing them. And you can put anything in it, and plastic, of course it won't have plastic, but something that you took down a plastic thingy, you will put it here. You took down a screw, you will put it here. And you don't have, of course, especially for yacht or this shape, but get a magnetic plate that will help you a lot on your job. Because you will see that in workplaces many times when you lose something, it's dirty on the ground, on the floor, and it will be lost for good. Another mention, but only if you have the money, the Wera Quick Check Plus. Now this has, I only have it in metric. Here in Europe we don't use IS almost at all. Fortunately I don't have to buy everything twice. They come with lots of bits, as you can see. The bits are very good, very good quality. They come with sockets, and they come with this little wrench that you can also use as a little stubby. Let's say with a bit, you put this in, and it ratchets, and you can change its direction by this little lever over here. And you can, in some tight places it saves you, but like I've said, this Wera Toolcheck Plus is quite expensive for a tool. It's around maybe over 100 euros depending on how you catch it. And you do find cheaper alternatives, even if not in set. You can buy the sockets from somewhere else, of course not Snap-on, because you will pay 100 euros for a socket. I'm kidding, but not very far from the truth. This bit holder, I like it, but it's bulky, but it holds very well. I don't like this small screw handle, but it's good that it's there. I will put this in the toolkit, but only if you have the money. Anyway, you will do need bits for sorry. You will do need bits to work, and if you have the money, get it. Now, of course, you will, when you work with electricity, sometimes you will work in dark places. You will have to to turn off the power. You will have to have light, and what you will need are flashlights. And of course, in my opinion, headbands are a must. I own several headbands, light headbands, whatever you call them. And I'm very satisfied with this type. This is dirt cheap. It's so cheap that if I forget it at a workplace and I'm, I don't know, 5 miles away, it will be 7 kilometers, even if I know that it's lost and I risk not finding it, but like I've said, I find it because I work for my uh, properties mostly, so I do find it, but I don't get go back after it. This costed me only around 4 or 5 euros, and it's great. It's USB-C charged. It can withstand. You can work with it in rain. I've worked outside and the rain caught me and it worked. It is. I don't want to blind the camera or you on the other side. It goes on your head. It makes a very powerful light. The battery lasts for hours, at least it did when I worked with it. Um, it if I push it over here, then it turns off, and it also has a flashlight on the other side because maybe you will need light from an angle or whatever. But what I like about it is that you can set this button and you move your hand, and it's a lot easier to turn it on and off, and you don't blind people around you, and you can simply turn it off, and it's a lot more usable. Now they are a little different. They were about the same. This one is smaller. This is usually my toolkit. This one is a little bulkier, but they are the same. I think I have a lot of these, 5, 6, I don't know exactly how many I have in my cars. I have in my some of my properties. They were dirt cheap, and they are in my country. They are dirt cheap. I've seen, I think, something like this in USA, and the guy in the video said it costed him around $30 or something, like $25. I don't remember. Now these are, I told you, $4 or $5 in my country, dirt cheap. I don't know why they are so cheap, but they are great. This one I've bought from AliExpress. It's more powerful but a lot more bulkier. It does the job. Anyway, this thin one and this is a flashlight that you can use whenever you need it. You can put it aside as a projector. It is magnetic. It has a little magnet on its head. I don't know where I can find some metal here. Yep, you can see it's magnetic. And what I like about it is that it has UV light. And I'll give you a tip. If you work in panels or for someone, you can buy an invisible ink pencil pen. You can draw some marks, a line, and when the beneficiary, the client, calls you back that something's wrong, you can check to see if someone worked in that place beside you. And with a UV light, you can very easily check that. It has a red light too for SOS. And anyway, this was very cheap. I don't know, around 10, 12, 13 euros for a flashlight. It's not Milwaukee, it doesn't make mashed potatoes or whatever, but it does the job on. So this and this, at least for now, go in the toolkit for apprentices. This is a small projector, also dirt cheap. I have 4 or 5 or more, I don't know. And they are rechargeable. They are magnetic, you can put them and you have lights from different angles. I usually have 1 or 2 or 3 with me in my toolkit. If you find this dirt cheap, these small projectors for 2 euros or 1 euro or whatever I spent on them, buy them, you won't regret them. You won't regret it, sorry. So these 3 go into the toolkit. Another thing you will need are multimeters. You have to measure the voltage. So multimeters, you have to measure the voltage, and I know that the god of all multimeters is Fluke, and Zeus himself, when he threw down on Earth lightning bolts, he used to measure their voltage using a fluke multimeter. But I will never spend 500, 600, $1,000 or euros on a multimeter because of the brand. Because I'm not saying that Fluke isn't good. I'm not saying that Fluke isn't the creme a la creme. I'm not saying that Fluke isn't the best there is. What I'm saying is that it's ridiculously expensive for what it offers. And yeah, it used to be that the Fluke had different functions, and Fluke was a rarity and some stuff like that. But nowadays, Fluke is left in many multimeters, expensive multimeters, is left behind, and it doesn't have all these functions, and it costs a lot of money. And if you measure 230 volts here in Europe, or that you have in a power socket, or if you measure 110 or what you do have in America, and one multimeter shows you 231 and the other one shows you 230.05 or 07, it doesn't make any difference. Now, if you do need it for extra precision, and then yeah, buy a Fluke. If money throws you out of your house, then yeah, by all means buy a Fluke, buy a UFO. But I use this. I do own several other brands, Chinese made. I don't remember exactly what they called. I even own a dirt cheap one that is around 10 euros, that is in my sacrifice box that I keep in one of my cars, an older car that may break down, and I do know how to fix a little bit on cars too, and I keep there a multimeter that is very cheap, and in case my car gets broken into and they stole my toolbox, I don't care, because I have tools here that one tool literally costs 2 or 3 times more than that entire toolbox. I'll show it in another video. Anyway, back to the movie. So you will need a multimeter as an apprentice or an electrician. Now, I bought this clamp meter. I bought it, it arrived the other days. It was around 55 euro, something like that. Around $60 for Americans. I didn't use it. Sorry, man, I keep bumping the camera. I've put it on to charge, but I keep hitting the cable, unfortunately, because its battery almost is dying. Anyway, I've only tested a little bit. This does pretty much the same thing as this and more. You can measure amps and volts, current and voltage, of course on a wire if you set it. You have these probes over here. Of course, this has a temperature probe that I don't have with me, but I won't start them. There are plenty of movies on the internet that show tutorials on how they work. This is my first, not my first, sorry, my main multimeter, and I've been using it for I think over a decade now. I don't know if Unity still makes this type of multimeter. I know that now they have that. Let me get these probes out of the way. These aren't his original probes. They got damaged. I bought others from AliExpress. Dirt cheap, 10 euros with a lot of other stuff. Now I know that Unity makes another model that you don't have to set the scales. For example, you set it on voltage and it automatically detects the voltage. For example, at this one, if you're measuring a car battery, you have to set it on DC and on 20 or 200 or 250, because if you set it on 200 millivolts, then you could damage the multimeter, because it's 12 volts and it measures in millivolts, and it can damage it. So you have to be careful to set it, and but it's okay. I won't change it for just for that. You can measure continuity, diodes, DC and AC current. It's it's a very good multimeter for what it does. It has light, it lights up, so you work in darker places with it. um, it has continuity for sound if you want to hear it is buzzing. It's a good multimeter for its money. I don't think that Unity still makes it. I could be wrong, but anyway, I recommend this type for an apprentice, not this type, because this is more expensive, and it's a good thing. It's a good tool to have, but it's an after to buy. It's not the price difference isn't very big. This one is about half the price of this one, maybe a little less, but still, learn to use this one. Use the probes. Don't start putting your hand in the live wires to measure them and stuff like that. This is for the future meter, and this not especially not this type especially or this brand, but a multimeter is a good thing to have. I will put it in the toolkit and show it later. Another thing that you will need is a voltage detector, contactless voltage detector. Yeah, I know, again, Fluke is the god of all gods, and Zeus was checking his lighting with Fluke, like I've said, but it costs a ton load of money, and I'm not gonna spend a ton of money on Fluke. And this is from Unity again. It detects DC and AC. It has different. It has for lower voltage. I don't know if you see on the camera. 90 to 1000 volts and 24 to 1000 volts. And what I like about it, it's quite precise, but never trust just voltage detector, no touch voltage detector, no contact voltage detector. Always check twice if the voltage is gone in order to prevent accidents. What I like about this one is that it has a flashlight, and if somehow with all my flashlights I run out of battery, or if I don't take by mistake one with me, I can use it a little bit to see. It's a good voltage detector. It goes in the toolkit. You should have a voltage detector. Another thing that you need is to check power sockets to see if they are wired correctly, and for that you will need a socket tester. I have this, it was quite cheap, around 10 euros. Hubble test, it has a LCD display, two colors. You can see the malfunctions on these three LEDs, as you can see here. How a socket is wired, if these two light up, it is correct. If not, you follow the malfunctions on the how they light up, and you act accordingly. Of course, for US and UK electricians, you will have a different type of outlet here, different type of connection. This is for European, the European type. This is a good socket. This is a good tester. It will go in the toolkit. Now, one of the last things that I will recommend is are in two packages. Not exactly two packages, but come two. I haven't seen many electricians, many handymen recommending angle grinders, even small angle grinders. I don't know why. I find them quite useful, and I will tell you in a few moments why I think so, and I can't not have one in my toolkit and not recommend one. I know that many handymen and electricians recommend impact drivers, especially 12 volts impact drivers. In America, is very common for people to recommend the Milwaukee Fuel, I don't know the number, 12 volts impact, blah blah blah. Why would you use an impact driver 12 volts that is not as powerful as an 18 volter, or just because it doesn't occupy a lot of space? I know, I understand that it is compacted, but why not using a normal drill? I don't like, if I need an impact, I use this when I need power. This is one of my impact drivers. I have another one from Parside, 18, they say 20, but it's still 18 volts. Parkside, and this Makita DTD 171. I have this for several years now. I have it I bought it in the year that the 172 came out. Now the 173 is out, and I've been using it since then, and it is quite good. I've bought from AliExpress these bit holders on the side because I like having bits with me. But I'll tell you what I don't like about it. I don't like about impact drivers that they are noisy. Yeah, I know that they make with noise reductions, with hydraulic or how do they call them, impact drivers that reduce the noise, but they are still noisy, a lot noisier than normal drills. And if you use 12 volts like I do, I don't see why I should use an impact. I will show you in a second what I use and what I recommend. So this is usually what I take with me when I have to work somewhere. Out of all my 12 volts, this is my favorite drill. When I bought it, and I think now too, it's the most powerful drill. It has 57 Newton meters, if I remember correctly. It's couple, and it's very powerful. I own 18 volt drills, brushed ones, more I think, that are less powerful than this one, and I would take this with me anywhere, but I don't take it, and I'll tell you in a few seconds why. Because the DeWalt is very stubborn, and they don't make this. I haven't found any small angle grinder, 12 volts angle grinders. And like I've said, I need angle grinders. I don't know, I haven't seen an electrician to recommend an angle grinder. Now usually, I hope that they fit in the camera. Yep, okay. Maybe it's a little. Now, I would recommend, if you are to buy and if you have the money, Bosch makes a version of this that its chuck comes out and it has different accessories, and you can put bits there and use it as a screwdriver and for angles and for 90 degrees and stuff like that. I don't have that. Maybe I will buy it in the future. Right now I have too many drills. Anyway, so I would have to say that I like these two more, but I will tell you why not, even though this is Parkside and this is Bosch, and usually this is 2 or 3 times or 4 times more expensive than these two. Usually where I go to work, if I know, or if I take the angle grinder, and most of the time I do, I take these two, and I will tell you why. The same story with the letter. Sometimes you have to cut things in the air, and you have to sparks fall around, and debris are thrown in every direction, and this angle grinder from Bosch doesn't have a reverse. It only goes in one direction. This little Parkside, I put another battery in it, can go forward or backward or forward, and you can stay away from the debris and from the sparks a lot better than from this one. Yeah, this is more compact, it's more powerful, I can feel it. it's more robust, it's a lot better built, but I don't know why Bosch, if you're watching this, please make a model where you will install a forward and reverse button uh, and the speed button. If you can do that, I would love for this to have a speed button. Sorry, the little kitty came back in, so you will hear meow meow in the background soon. Now, back to the story. So, long story short, these are a lot cheaper. Usually I take one battery and maybe the charger that I keep in the car, and this do the job very, very well. Yes, Luci, I'm here. Luci, do you want to go outside? He wants to go outside now, sorry. Okay, no, he didn't want to go outside. So long story short, this go into my into the toolkit, of course, with bits and drills. I won't start showing you bits and drills. I think you know how a drill set looks like, or how a bit set looks like. Seriously, a drill set and a bit set. I don't have it prepared. I didn't think to prepare it, but along this, some bits and some drills. What I do want to show you is I carry this little grinder or the other one with extra blades. Now this is for metal. Of course, you don't expect to cut a railroad with it, but it does the job. This is for plastic and for wood. It does the job. So you can hear the little kid in the background doing his business in the bathroom. Sorry. This is for grinding soft stuff, not. And this and another type is for tiles, for if I need something to be cut in a bathroom or something. So yeah, you need, as an electrician, you do need to cut plastic, you do need to cut panels, sometimes modifications. It happened to me lots of times when I had to modify something, and this or this came in handy. Now, like I've said, I would love to carry this because it's more powerful, but the volt, I didn't see him to make any angle grinders for 12-volt batteries. Luci, play nice. Sorry for the kitty in the background. There isn't much I can do about it. I love him and I won't tell him to be quiet. He's bored since his little sister left. So he wants to go outside again, sorry. Another thing that I would like to show you that goes with this little electric screwdriver is a 90-degree or something like this degree angle adapter. In many cases you will have to work in tight places, not with just by hand but with power drills, and you will find this quite helpful. You won't be able to send impact through them. Yeah, many tell them that they are impact ready. No, they aren't. Impact, where is my impact drill? Sorry, found it. Impact is transmitted ahead. There are movies on YouTube that show how impact is generated in these drills, and it won't go in a 90-degree. So if you put this in an impact, then you won't have any impact transmitted forward. So buy a normal priced one because it does the same, and you rarely use it. Now let me show you the toolkit. And sorry for the long video, it lasted long than I expected, but there were a lot of tools. So these are the tools that I've recommended for an electrician apprentice. I don't recommend, like I've said, exactly this type of bag. I said why I prefer carrying it. when I work for my properties. My tools don't get stolen, don't get lost. If they get lost, I most likely recover them. And if I work on a ladder or somewhere high, I can easily say to my parents, to my wife, to my parents-in-law, hey, please give me the, I don't know, the yellow pliers. No, not that ones, the other ones near them. No, the other ones. And it's easy for me to see what's inside, and for them also. And for what I do, it's okay. But for someone that works professionally, you should have something with a cover on and something that you can carry on your back or on your shoulder, and it will get heavier. Now, usually I do have more tools inside this, but these are the one that I presented in the video. And like I've said, the measuring tape here I have some spare, I don't know if you can see them, some spare discs for the small angle grinder. Here I have the utility knives, the voltage tester, screwdrivers, a marker. I think I've shown you this one, yeah. The alligator Knipex, the voltage meter, the park side distance meter, laser meter, and the other tools, the pliers, the levels, the small angle grinder, the flashlights, the magnetic plate, and different stuff. This tool bag has a shoulder, now it's gotten a little, sorry, a little shoulder strap that I can carry on my shoulder if it's too heavy. Of course, the fish tape over there. And that's what I recommend to be used by an apprentice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me if I forgot something. I might have forgotten a precision screwdriver. I own a set, but I rarely carry it with me because I rarely need it. But yeah, you could have a precision screwdriver too. I think for an apprentice at the beginning of his life, of his career, of his electrician life, of his career, they are enough. I repeat, not especially those brands. Most of them are expensive. Cheaper ones do the job as good. So if you have any comment, add-ons, suggestions, please write in the comments. Thank you. Have a nice evening.